what's going on? Back with another one. And this one is about maintaining or building your masculine energy in your marriage. If you already have masculine energy or good masculine energy, this would be about maintaining. If you feel like you're lacking, this will be about building. And you'll know if you're lacking because you'll probably relate to my video on the sexless marriage. You might feel like your wife doesn't respect you. There might be subtle things that just make you feel like the masculine energy is off. Or if things are just off, it could be because your masculine energy is off. So, top three things, one bonus. Stick through to the end, catch that bonus. First thing is being the yes man. And that's just pretty much what it is. I mean, everything that your wife asks for, everything that your wife asks you to do, yes, 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 dear, yes, honey, that type of energy is draining, first and foremost. And secondly, it's going to, in the famous words of Coach Greg Adams, it's going to eventually make your wife drier than the Sahara Desert. You see, a lot of men think that the yes man approach is the key to a successful marriage. And those type of men grew up on the premise of happy wife, happy life, which is a horrible premise. That's just my opinion, to each his own. But the yes man approach is surely going to lead you down the road to sexless marriage, your wife disrespecting you, and not giving you the authority and power of a man, or let alone ever thinking that she's going to submit to you. It's not going to happen. Think about it. As a man, if you went to a job and you work for somebody else and your boss just said yes to everything you asked for, how much respect would you have for your boss? Think about it. Would you even think about submitting to a boss? No, you would probably feel like you ran the show. So it's the same thing in the household with the marriage. Like, how would you expect your wife to submit to you or look at you as the head of the household if everything she asks you for or tells you to do is yes? Okay, that's number one. Pardon me for looking down. I'm just looking at my notes. I don't want to go off track. Number two, the overly emotional man. Now this guy is glorified in the movies, in the books. Shoot, you might even been raised by an overly emotional man. No disrespect. Now, I don't know what that's like, but there are probably some men that's gonna view this video that have been raised by an overly emotional man, right? That is probably just as detrimental as growing up in a single mother household. Once again, that's just my opinion. There's no facts backing that up. That's just how I feel. Because if you grew up with a father who's overly emotional, then in a certain sense, you were raised by two women. Now, for those of you who have stayed after that comment, I'll delve in deeper. When I say overly emotional, I mean you are leaving your masculine frame or your masculine energy when your woman or any situation baits you to. You see, as men, we were created to be logical and rational. We were not created to be emotional. That is the job and responsibility of your wife. Now, if your wife has a bad day at work and she comes home and everything that you hear sounds like, well, some of that was on you. You see, a lot of guys would either A, try to fix the problem. That's not what she wants. She is an emotional being. She's just venting her emotional frustrations. And when she's done, she'll go on to the next thing. But some guys want to fix the problem. Now, the only time you should think about fixing the problem is if she asks you for your opinion. If she's just venting, then you just don't say anything. You just listen to what she has to say, and it is what it is. But some men want to fix the problem. And then what happens is we start off trying to fix the problem from a rational and logical standpoint. But because she's in her emotions, she's going to feel attacked. And when she feels attacked, now this whole situation that had nothing to do with you becomes your problem, because now she feels attacked by you. So now her anger and emotions have shifted from her job problem to you. Now what happens is she starts talking about all kinds of things that you do wrong. Now she's talking about what you're not doing around the house. She's talking about how you're not taking care of the kids. She's talking about all kinds of things that she wouldn't have brought up if you just sat there and listened to her problem and didn't say anything. But because you decided you were going to fix it, now her emotions have been turned to you. And she finally says one thing that strikes a nerve. This is where men mess up. She strikes that nerve. You get pissed off. Now you get emotional. Now you have two females catfighting. That's correct. That's that, two females. Because now you have become a female, and now you guys are arguing back and forth about something that had nothing to do with you in the first place. She was just venting about work. She didn't ask for your suggestions. She didn't ask for your advice. She got you in your emotions, and now you lost your masculinity for a short period of time. And guess what? She's now drier than the Sahara Desert. Number 3, lack of masculine contact. Now, if you go and watch a lot of the single red pill content, you will see that they touch on this very often. When a woman is trying to create a long-term relationship, which may lead into a marriage, but if you're not married, don't do that. But anyway, it may lead into a marriage, right? Now, by the time you get to the marriage stage, all of your masculine contacts have been erased and deleted, because she started to have you cut your masculine ties off when you were in the dating phase. The only masculine presence you may have is like a father or a grandfather or uncle. Now, in my situation, my father passed long before I got married. So I had a few friends that all of a sudden just weren't friends anymore. Why? Because I allowed, you see, we have to take accountability for our actions. I allowed my wife to have me cut people off that were giving me masculine energy. Because see, sometimes women are not sometimes, most of the time, women are threatened by that masculine energy because they want to be the dominant one. They only want to be the dominant one for small periods of time when it benefits them. They don't want to be the dominant one all the time. But when they want to be dominant, they can't have you always being in your masculine. So they have to try to figure out ways to try to throw you off your square and throw you off your masculine. So the longer and more consistent you can be with staying masculine, the smoother your marriage will run, and the less dry your wife will be. And now for the bonus. This one is one of my favorites, and I do this quite often, and I think you should too if you don't. You see, the fear of pissing your woman off just because. Sometimes you just have to do that, and this goes for anybody, whether you're married or not. Sometimes you have to let go of that fear. It is okay for your woman to be upset. Matter of fact, she thrives off of being upset. She thrives off of being emotional. That's their nature. So sometimes it's okay just to pick. I'm not saying to, bring something up that's going to be a detriment to your relationship. I'm just saying little things like, oh, you did your hair like that today? You don't even have to elaborate. You can just do it just like that. And you'll mess up her day, right? But then you can, give her a little validation a few hours later when she's at work, after she's been pissed off and you ruined like 4 hours of her day. And after lunch, you can make her day better because, of course, she's going to come home and you're going to have to deal with her. So you want to start building her back up and give her a little bit of validation. And it's almost as if you didn't say anything in the morning, because all you have to do, see, women are in the moment creatures. So you can piss them off one moment and they can hate you. And you can build them up the next moment and they'll love you. You see? So never be afraid to piss your woman off intentionally every once in a while. Keeps her on her toes, and it ignites her emotional furnace. That's what they need. They need to be emotional because that's what they thrive on. That's their nature. So if you made it this far, I appreciate you. Hit the like, subscribe. If this doesn't pertain to you, it pertains to somebody you know. So share this video. God bless.